In all honesty, I've actually been trying to avoid Sea of Stars. When it comes to RPGs on Nintendo Switch, my head is constantly being spun in circles with all the great stuff that's either here or on the way for 2023. But so far, Sea of Stars has done all the right things to win me over. Gorgeous presentation, a spot in the last Nintendo Direct, and even musical contributions from Yasunori Mitsuda, legendary composer who's worked on both the Chrono and Xeno series. But contrary to what you might think, this modern 2D pixel art RPG is not from Square. Instead, it's developed and published by Sabotage Studio, the team behind acclaimed action platformer The Messenger. In fact, Sea of Stars will serve as a prequel of sorts to The Messenger, and it's set to release at the end of this summer in August of 2023. News of the Switch exclusive demo that dropped just a few weeks ago was the straw that broke the camel's back, causing me to jump headfirst into Sea of Stars on Nintendo Switch. Right away, we're thrust into a game world that's beautiful and dynamic. This isn't just a flat tile set. Instead, we're climbing up and down ladders and ledges and freely swimming in any body of water. There are chests to find and resources to collect. The game even allows changing between day and night at will, as the lighting adjusts in real time. This feature isn't available in the demo, but the how to play menu hints toward this capability, and the game's official website demonstrates it quite elegantly with this interactive graphic. Of the 3 party members available in the demo, we get to choose between 2 of them, either Valir or Zale to be the leader. The choice doesn't have an impact on any stats or story, rather it's just who will lead your party around the map. Entering town will kick off some story setup, which has the party seeking help from a rough and tumble crew of pirates to reach a place called the Wraith Islands. However, the loss of an impromptu arm wrestling competition forces the party to take a detour and accompany the pirates in scouring some nearby ruins for an ancient treasure. This ruin is where the bulk of the demo takes place, a dungeon with some enemy encounters and light puzzle solving elements, reminding me of a Golden Sun dungeon, especially with how the main character uses magic to summon a wind that can push blocks. On our way to the ruin, we get a taste of the overworld, and right away I noticed the significantly zoomed out perspective, which is very Chrono Trigger. Even just this small section of it leaves me with a lot of curiosity. I want to know what lies beyond this mountain, across the ocean, and what the deal is with this giant sleeping dragon. From the few character moments we get in the demo, I noticed the dialogue is sharp and witty, and the characters presented here, especially the pirate crew, are very interesting. I do have to say though, I'm not a fan of how the text boxes transition into the scene. Maybe it's a certain style they're going for, but it looks a bit unfinished in my opinion. Speaking of dialogue, the demo breaks the fourth wall frequently. It's for the most part effective, but even more so hilarious. Like these guards straight up saying you can't go here in the demo, or a couple lines that are actually redacted for the sake of spoilers, which the game outright tells you. We even have the developers speaking through an unseen narrator to tell us Coral Cascades isn't available yet to explore, but you can listen to Mitsuda's track if you stand right here. Speaking of the music, I believe it to be one of the strongest parts of Sea of Stars' presentation. There are several earwormy tracks that were stuck in my head long after I completed the demo, notably the whimsical pirate theme that plays in Brisk, the demo's main town, and of course, a hallmark of any great RPG, a battle theme that just about gave me goosebumps. I really love this combat system, or at least the potential of it. At its core, it's a typical turn-based system, with each character having a melee attack and a set of spells. However, during each attack and spell, a correctly timed button press will deliver a bonus effect, similar to the systems in the Mario and Luigi RPGs. For example, one of Valir's main spells is a crescent moon-shaped boomerang that ricochets off enemies and requires a timely button press to keep the rally going. If you've played enough Mario Tennis and your timing is good, you'll be able to deal massive damage by keeping the attack active. On the other hand, when enemies attack the party, a similarly timed press of the action button will be seen as a block. providing a small damage reduction. Again, another Mario RPG style thing. Very much of this combat system is centered around lessening the damage the enemy will be doing to the party, and the main way to do this is through what the game calls its locks system. When an enemy is charging up a special attack, it will display a bar with various elemental icons. Hitting the enemy with attacks of the same type as any of the icons will weaken the attack, and hitting all of them will cancel the attack entirely. It's a fun and clever system that reminds me a bit of the break system from Octopath Traveler, since what you want to hit the enemy with is displayed on a bar underneath the enemy. While playing, you'll really want to focus on breaking locks because that will help build up combo points for your party characters. Once the combo meter is filled, you'll be able to execute powerful dual attacks. The more times you're able to fill the meter, the stronger the combos you'll have access to. So it really pays to break locks on enemies as much as possible. Some smaller touches also help make the combat system feel very slick and modern, like how characters regain MP by performing normal melee attacks, encouraging a good mix of both weapon attacks and spells in regular combat, and how down characters come back to life after a short while in order to always give the player a chance, even when their back is against the wall in a tough fight. And even though this is just a demo, the final boss fight is actually really intense. I expect the final game's general difficulty to be pretty high, yet smartly, the game addresses difficulty via its relic system. Relics are in-game items that seem to have some kind of effect on the game at large. There's an easy mode relic that ups your HP and heals you after every fight, and there's a secret relic that lessens the party character's total health and makes enemies invincible while casting for a pretty serious added challenge. I don't know how anyone beat that final boss with the secret relic activated, but hey, maybe I'm just not that great at the game. It remains to be seen if relics will be expanded on much in the final game, or if they'll just be a glorified difficulty settings menu. We'll just have to wait and see. If you couldn't already tell, I loved the Sea of Stars demo. I think it's one of the best and most lovingly crafted demos I've seen in a long time. And with it being only about 1 hour in length, it's absolutely worth checking out for anyone even remotely interested in the game. It's safe to say Sea of Stars has jumped up my priority list for games to play in 2023. And now I'm even more excited to get my hands on the full release this summer.